everybody, and welcome to Market Moves. I'm Jason, the Wizard of Ops, and with me, as always, is Jay, aka Dark Matter. Jay, how was your week?
Hey, Wiz. It was pretty good. I'm this week I'm in Chicago. It is cold here, but what a wonderful city. But I am excited for the week to get going, and what a heck of a week we've got started for us for the stock market here, right?
Yeah, I mean, how you doing, Julian? Hey, Johannes. Yeah, as I guess your weekend, no matter where you are, is probably better than if you're in Iran, right?
That's very true.
It's war is never good, and we're not going to make light of it, but we're also not going to pretend we know everything is going on. We will just kind of refer to it in a market context for this show, since that's the context of our show, and you can't not talk about it, right? So, so that being said, I guess that's the big catalyst. Is let's see if it's going to break us out of this range. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, I guess maybe go prep for the week here. So outside of all the Iran news and the Iran war, we do have some data points this week coming out from a rather big one. The theme of this week will be unemployment. So I mean, this morning, excuse me, we do have manufacturing PMI and prices coming out, but later this week on Wednesday, we've got the ADP non-farm, and then Friday, the actual government non-farm employment change. So this is one that I'd be looking out for. I think this is the first month where you kind of get the cleanse out of the government shutdowns and whatnot. So this will be an important, non-farm, and February typically is not one of the better, employment number months. So kind of curious how this month goes, but any thoughts on your end for Catalyst? And I guess before I let you just chime in, there are some earnings this week as well that I will just call out. Target, CrowdStrike, AVGO, and Costco are some of the ones that I will be paying attention to. Now to you, Wiz.
GoPro. I didn't know GoPro was still a thing.
Yeah, shockingly, right?
What's their stock price? 10 cents?
I can only imagine.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Iran is probably going to rule the catalyst menu. Unemployment claims, you're right, February is not usually a good unemployment month because you're getting all the Christmas layoffs, college kids returning to school. So a lot of those kind of short-term jobs fall off, but also short-term demand falls off as well. So that kind of goes away. The war does increase demand, but not for this cycle, obviously. It increases demand on, kind of defense contractors, manufacturing, oil, a lot of energy. So I think that, the tenor of the war is going to help dictate some demand on that side. So employment, it's probably going to be around the same. I guess they're forecasting a lot lower than previous, but previous was a lot higher than they were expecting too. So this might even be a normalizing report. Regardless, I don't think there's a ton of event vol for it.
No.
So I think right now it's probably just going to be taken in stride. I think it's going to take a really small number for the Fed to move off of no hikes in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it'll take a really large number, and I don't think we're going to get it. So.
Yeah, and I think with just the Iran war, a lot of these will just be blips in the radar this week. So be aware of it, but it's not going to meaningfully change or shift the market, in my opinion.
Right.
All right, awesome. So let's just jump into some of the Volland data and information. So I'll kind of just, maybe just bring up my key levels and we can start with that. So overnight, obviously, the market gapped down. We closed, Friday near, 68.75, let's just call it. And the market gapped down immediately on the Iran news overnight to 6,800. That held, some there's negative gamma down there that held. We had some Vanna overnight that held on the first test. We then immediately bounced back to what I was using as dealer control here, 6850, and we hit all the way 6850, and then we had another 100-point sell-off essentially from 6850 overnight to go test the last extension that I had here from our trade plan, 6750. So we are now effectively kind of stuck in range here between 6850 and 6750. We'll go look at the updated information here for just a minute, but Wiz clearly range bound now, but I do think that there's still pressure resistance trying to get back to some of the highs of last week. But before I go into Volland, any of your thoughts so far?
Yeah, 6750, and I mean, for me, the full, big positive gamma strike is 6775. That last, right there. Yeah, is that 6750 or 6770?
Yeah, this is 50. Yep.
Okay, 6750. That is like, for me, my final straw. If we pass that convincingly, then we could really drop. But
yeah, there's nothing.
There's nothing. But overall, though, that to me is my last. I don't think we will actually pass it. We will probably test it and bounce. We have already tested it and bounced. I don't know if we'll test it again, but from one thing to look at is the spot vol beta, which VIX has skyrocketed overnight, and right now we're looking at you can't make that bigger.
I meant to do. I can make it bigger. I can do this. Yeah, I got you, man. Don't worry. I got you. There we go.
Yeah. So 2.87. We're in vol event territory. We'll see if it lasts throughout the day. I kind of think that we are going to bounce, and it'll, VIX will normalize a little bit. We'll probably get into like the ones. But if it doesn't, and we continue down, or we test 6750 again, that number can get very high, in the 3s, 4s. And if the day ends, then it will be a bounce on a swing level. We'll have a vol event, and that table will finally have some numbers in it, right?
Yeah.
We had
one.
We did have a vol event. What was it? Earlier this year, and then it got satisfied in like 3 days. And I'm like, we had like a 3-day window to have numbers in the chart. So, but it worked. So that was a good test.
It came, and then we had the almost vol event, which almost happened but didn't happen, but it felt like it, right?
So yeah, the 2.87, that would be so I think that overall this is an initial shock. There's even like an ES gap, which people are telling me that's not supposed to happen. That's so they get filled pretty quickly. So we might close a gap this week and get back to those highs. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a good chance of a bounce, or at least stabilization, and then maybe bouncing up to those like little bit higher levels, 6850 that you had over there before.
Yeah, and if we take a look, Vanna is pretty wild here. Lots of positioning occurred overnight, as you can see here. But I would also take a look at some of these key levels, like overnight 68.25, 68.50 we talked about, right? But you look at these bigger red bars here. This is if we're going up in price, you're going to really need volatility to compress, though, if we're going to beat through all of this negative Vanna here. So just keep that in mind. That is at least just intraday. If I go to the 0 DTs here for just a minute, if we take a look at just, our 0 DT delta decay here, let me go back and just, there's some negative delta here, right? So just keep that in mind, at least from a hedging standpoint. So if we start to look at this was, even intraday, there's some pressure here, but as you start to go up higher above 68.25, there's going to be a little bit of pressure on the bulls to try to maintain that and keep pushing that up, at least intraday today. Your thoughts?
Well, actually, it looks like there's a lot of way out of the money stuff going on here.
Yeah.
That those are a lot of sold puts actually, right? They're trying to take advantage of all, but that will go away pretty quickly upon the open, or even like somewhat of a bounce. That'll go away fairly fast. So it kind of reinforces my bounce theory a little bit. I do think that that's kind of that. I don't even know if were those put on overnight. I'd have to look. I have to look at the trending, but that's basically what I'm looking at is those will probably go away if we open and we drop really fast, then they will stick. So it's like, it's the first hint of a bounce. As long as we don't hit them, that's what, as long as we don't get too close, the first hint of a bounce and they will go away. So it's also kind of contributing to my bounce, maybe even intraday bounce kind of thesis.
Yeah, and these were open prior to today. Just FYI, I can at least see the charm here. But yeah, I mean, you also, if you take a look at your last level, the 67.75 you mentioned, right? There is some negative charm there. So if you do see us testing this level here early and holding, it's like a I kind of look at it like a bounce, right? You're going to bounce and it's going to push back up here. And that basically brings you, if we get back to here, essentially the closing prices of Friday or near it, I should say. So,
well, the positive charm is kind of bearish, but that's what I'm saying. Like if we get up there and we start passing those green bars, then, we're good to go. We're gone. But so I agree with you. We're probably going to see some pressure, but I think that pressure will recede a little bit as those two huge green bars taper off a little bit.
Yeah. If we take a look, I mean, we already looked at, excuse me, gamma there, but if we look at Vanna on the higher time frames, a little bit of similar story here. There's obviously negative Vanna. You're going to want to pay attention to how volatility starts to react at these key prices. So for example, we get 6,800 here again as we're testing it. If you're a bear, you want to see this get pulled through. You're going to want to see volatility increase. That's one of the key levels where volatility needs to increase. It starts to compress. We'll see price kind of push back towards, you see the big green here, that's the 6,900 level here as well, which is interesting. We have literally been trading this range for months upon months now.
Yeah, no matter what happens, we stick in this range. Unemployment, who cares? Big inflation, doesn't matter. Nothing matters. We're just going to trade between 6,800 and 7,000.
Which is why I've enjoyed just trading level to level, Wiz. That's been my theme. I mentioned it many times. I'm going to stick to that theme until we see a change.
I've been short gamma for a long time. And I mean, I've had a double calendar, March 17th and March 31st, and 17th, which may seem odd, but it's FOMC day, the day before FOMC day. So I was trying to take advantage of like deteriorating theta, where the options after it will have FOMC event vol. So that's what I was trying to do. It's double calendar, but we've been so stuck in the range that neither side has ever been threatened. I'm like just sitting there like, okay, I'll just sit here. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I mean, last night, overnight was the closest we tested that, right? If you take a look at this, it essentially hit what, a couple weeks ago at the lows, near it, held, bounced, and now we're testing right around 6,800. So this is a big one here.
What are these 4-hour candles? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this is cool. I was actually commenting before the show. Your color scheme is crazy, man. I don't know.
I know. Well, I was telling, let me explain to everyone here. So inside candles are yellow, your blues are engulfing candles, right? So I was trying to explain to Wiz, but what is intriguing me here, I'm going to just call out because I think it's going to if you're in the volume profile, this area here, which is essentially if I translate 68.25 and SPX, we keep rejecting it, right? From overnight action we did, we got up to 68.50. Now 68.25 is the high. So, and that level is last month's value area low, is what us volume profile people call it, Wiz. But it's just interesting that we're rejecting a monthly volume profile. That typically means rotation then to the next volume profile, which if we look at it is down here at 67.50 ES. So that puts you at about, I think, just do my math. Yeah, just a little bit shy of 67.50 SPX.
I don't know what you just said, but okay.
See, there you go. You learned something today.
Well, value area. I'll have to look that up now. Value area. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. So what else? Oh, 3.08. I guess we're dropping a little bit in S&P. We're back below 6,800. You see how high though that rose 0.3 points, and we only just dropped below 6,800. Like you were saying, as soon as you cross that big bar, I mean that's what you need. You need that acceleration of spot vol betas in order to get there. So if we do close below 6,800, that's a vol event, and that's probably gonna bounce. It's a 3-week time frame to reach Friday's close. So it's only like 80 points away right now.
Which I'm just laughing because I'm like 80 points is like, if we look at overnight, you have that in like a 30-minute candle if I go here. Yeah. I mean, look at from the lows here, 68, in about an hour, you basically retrace most of the selling.
You got an ES gap there too. I hear that's
right.
Or that needs to be filled or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing. We talked about this, Apollo and I, in the chat. When you see an SPX gap, like I wouldn't trade that. Like I wouldn't use that as a data point. Right. But when you see an ES gap, like usually, most likely that week, if there's a high likelihood of it, and you can go back and do your own testing, this is going to get filled and get reckoned with. We just don't know the when, but it will happen this week is my guesstimation.
All right. So we're calling a bounce, basically, both of us.
Yes, we are.
We're kind of calling for a bounce. Iran be damned, right? Like
that's right. You got to wait for the bounce, right? Because it could be, that's the trade of the week, in my opinion, at that point, when you find that bounce.
Well, if there's a vol event today, then you got a 3-week time frame, throw up some long gamma verticals, try to get that prior day close. Although I will say that there's usually a lot of, many times when there is a vol event, not every time, but many times there'll be a continuation the next day. And that's what we call the jackpot. You get that continuation. You're like a 200-point bounce in 3 weeks. Then you get like that delta, a delta 15, delta 10 area. Get that vertical. That's like 10x right there, man. It's a sweet day when that happens.
Life is good. Life is good when that happens.
All right. Let's see. Do we have any? Or here, go on with your trade plan.
No, I mean, I think that's it, right? So, to me, I think I'll go back to hear what I said last night. I think if we're in between 6,800 and 6,850, you're just like in mean reversion world, at least today. So that's my thoughts there. I think 6750 is that key level we talked about. I would love to see the actual, trading session this morning go and test that level. So I'd love to be able to long what I was not able to long overnight, although I did sell overnight, Wiz, so I can't complain. It was a good start to the week, but I'd love to find a bounce here to kind of ride some of the volatility that I expect will compress throughout the week. But otherwise, I mean, unless keep an eye on the macro, right? Like I can't
Well,
predict what's going to happen in war.
yeah.
If someone gets killed or dies, that will change our outlook then. So just FYI.
Well, for me, I think I'm staring at spot vol betas. I mean, it's almost aside from a major development like maybe Trump getting assassinated or something. I mean, like aside from something happening like that, I think this will this is a big thing to watch, and I would start at least maybe a starter position bullish if we do have a vol event today. So 3 weeks, end of the month, I guess. Yeah, you
Wiz,
ready?
do you want to just take a minute here while we've got a little bit of time, just for our, which
Yeah.
by the way, I want to use our like and subscribe. If you love this content, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe. We do this every week here.
I'm so, I'm so
That's
bad with the like and subscribe.
I know you are. I know you are.
Horrible with like and subscribe. Anyway, all right. So
Do you want to explain the whole over
yeah.
vixing spot fall, please? Yeah.
So spot vol beta is so there is a correlation. You can bring up the spot vol correlation. There's a correlation. Everybody kind of knows it, but nobody really quantifies between SPX and VIX, right? Everybody knows when VIX goes up, SPX goes down. So we looked at the spot vol correlation. Can you bring it up there?
Yeah, hold on.
So what we did was on a daily basis, because that's when dealers have to be that's when dealers have to hedge. On a daily basis, we take the VIX points change and the percent change of SPX. So you can see right here, very solid correlation. We're now looking at 0.83. It was 0.87 not too long ago, but that vol slope 0.53 right now. So this always will show the past 3 months. So if VIX moves if VIX moves 0.53 per points up for every 1% down of SPX, then that is normal, right? That's adhering, that's right on that trend line. We did a historical study back to 2012 where if we over VIX, that is VIX goes up more points than SPX percent change implies. If it goes up 2 more points than the trend line there, we will return to the prior day's closing within 3 weeks. All right. And this has been tested since 2012. And in only 2 instances out of 29, I believe, has it failed. The first time was in 2015 where it bounced, came close, but then didn't, there was some event or something like that, and we didn't hit the prior day's close. And the second failure was actually the Trump tariff time. The first day he announced the tariffs, I guess it was in April, beginning of April. There was a vol event. There were 3 subsequent vol events after that, and only the first one didn't fill. The other 3 did. So, but then the first one was satisfied. Like if I would have said 3 weeks and 3 days, the first one would have satisfied. So it is a very reliable signal, and it is something that I will trade. Typically with long gamma verticals. I mean, that's like a 90-something% success rate.
That's right.
And the trades that you make on it are like, in like the 20 delta range. So, I mean, it's a, I mean, I'm not saying mortgage your house. I don't, exercise solid risk management, but if there is a vol event, it is something to hop on. So.
And that typically, what you're, just to clarify, for a 2 on the spot vol beta, above a 2, I should say, at the end of the closing day, that is when we, trigger, call it the over vixing view of it, right?
Yeah,
Is
the
that
vol
accurate?
event, yeah. And then if there is an active vol event, it will populate that table below. So the trigger date, if this is how we close, the trigger date is today. The target price is yesterday's close, and the deadline is 3 weeks out. So you'll see, it'll be what, March 23rd will be the deadline. The target price will be, what did we close out? Like 68.70 something?
Yep. 68.75 was roughly Friday's close.
That'll be the target price, and the trigger date will be today. So that's, it's a very reliable signal. When that thing starts populating, it's time to put in some trades, right? It's time to start putting in some trades. You got a high probability signal going on. So
that's right. Well, with that, thank you for that explanation. Like and subscribe again, because this is what Wiz does here at Volland.
Right. This is what we do, and I'm terrible at telling people to like and subscribe. All right, let's go to the comments real quick. Anna, you've got a fan, man. Look at that. You even got the little emoji. You ever see the movie Little Nicky?
Yeah. Oh man,
the demon, like, I guess he like failed or something, and the devil gave him boots on his head. That's what that emoji looks like. But Anna, Anna, send Dark Matter a letter in the mail. He'll give you a signed photo. Anyway.
Hey man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It says, last week you mentioned on Substack post that usually if we over VIX at open, we tend to dip briefly and vice versa. Is this just an observation, or is there any other justification? It's just an observation. I mean, a lot of times, when you over VIX like this, and can you bring up the liquidity widget, Jay?
Yeah.
When you over VIX like this, typically it is a liquidity issue, and there it is, right there. And dealers come rushing back, right? Eventually they come rushing back, and they don't want to lose their money. They want to make money. So as they come back and they make money, then you get that initial wait and see by the market makers, and then you get once they start coming back and getting a feel for the market again, that's when you'll see VIX come down and the market head up. Last week when I said that about like the over VIXing and then like an initial pop down, that was when the market was flat. That's a little bit different than the scenario we're in right now. If the market's flat and then VIX, you see VIX at like 0.5 or 0.6, you're like, I think we might drop a little bit. Like something is going on in the market maker world. We'll probably drop a little bit. And then once people see they could get a good price, they're going to shoot back up again as prices come back. So that's, that more or less was my indication. And it isn't like backed by studies. It's just kind of observation, but that's where that came from. So, all right. And then Johannes, time to buy 100 NQ. Go for it, buddy. Not investment advice from Johannes.
Do what we said, though, right? Look at the data. Then you can long once the data triggers.
Although one thing that's interesting, we already have 1 billion in zero DTE dealer premium today. That's a lot. That means
that's a lot. Yeah,
buying a lot of puts pre-market.
I was going to ask you, have you seen any higher? And I think maybe outside of that April. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I think outside of that one April Liberation Day kind of thing, right? I don't think I've seen this number as high.
So, which also actually backs up the thought that we will probably bounce. Like the premiums are so high, they're gonna eventually the prices will start coming down on the options, and we're gonna bounce. So. All right.
Again, I think those two levels to the downside, right? 67.75 and 67.50. I wouldn't be shocked if we find somewhere in between there and then we bounce. But keep an eye on macro. We can't predict macro, right? So
no. All right. Yug says, are we still in negative VANA, negative premium situation for March expiration? I don't know, you can bring up the gamma from March. I think so. I don't know about negative. I don't know about negative VANA anymore, though.
No.
Yeah, now we're in positive VANA.
So this is so there's two OpEx this month just to call out, right? So we've got quarterly OpEx, so that's March 31st. You're positive on that from a Van exposure. Then we look at month OpEx, you're positive as well on Vanna. And then if we go to all expiration Vanna as well, we're like positive there as well. So
positive to neutral. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean I think it aligns with our bounce, kind of scenarios, which is another good data point to back our potential bounce here if we do have a fall event.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess, and if you can check out March Gamma, which to me
yes, sorry.
sounds like, I don't know if we're still in negative Gamma, but we're not. We're in positive Vanna now, and I presume that's because a lot of people are buying puts. And now we're looking at Gamma. Yeah, we got some negative spots there, but looks like we're mostly positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and if I go to the specific expiration, so give me 1 second here, take a look at it. So 2/3/20th. I mean, look at, even monthly. There's your monthly OpEx.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's even
6,800. That's the level. Yeah.
Yeah. So, to answer your question, huge, no, you're not. We're now positive Vanna. It supports the bounce thesis. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're high, you're looking at Volland, that is one thing you can look at and say we're going to bounce, right? Maybe some starter bullish positions today. That could be a good strategy. So, yeah, huge. I mean, less whipsaw then. I mean, we are in the middle of a war, but well, we're just beginning a war, however you want to do it. But dealers would not be. Looks like dealers would not be exaggerating any moves anymore. We were in the beginning of the month, in the beginning of the option month, and now I presume we are not. Now it's positive Gamma. Maybe the whipsaw could come down just a little bit. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. And Jay, do you have anything else you want to add before we go?
No, I didn't see Anna's comment earlier because I have one screen here, so I don't have my usual multiple screens. So I'm glad to be back, Wiz. I left you guys last week here, but glad to be back this week. Hopefully this week was informative, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe. I will say it. Like and subscribe. I have to be reminded, I guess. All right. Thank you, everybody, and may Volland help you in your future trading ventures.